So, kind of the universal side of this thing. I go to the thing and I say, okay, is this, I'm about to run a program. And it says, okay, is this good? Probably makes a hash of this if it's about to send it to somebody else. And it contacts who? It could contact basically whomever. It could contact, let's say I'm in a corporate environment, and it pings, the immediate corporate server or something, hey, is this thing whitelisted? Now that thing can make its own decisions. The corporation could, for instance, say, or school or whatever, I don't know, whatever organization. The organization could have its own list, maintains independently, doesn't bother anybody else. Or it could maintain a list based on how other people have maintained lists. So it could, for instance, just ping, say, Symantec. That's an antivirus corporation thingy, so and say, okay, hey guys, do you have this on your shade list? And if they do, they just report straight through, and that's pretty simple. But what if maybe Symantec doesn't? Okay, cool, we'll just ping some other guy. We'll have like, a dozen different antivirus organizations that we trust. And maybe they have varying levels of trust. This is all programmed within like your organizational computer, for instance. Okay, so Symantec says it's a 90, we'll list it as a 90. And then if some other people say it's an 80, or we'll list it as a 75. We generally trust these people, but we're not entirely sure, not quite sure, and those sorts of things. Or you could tell, okay, ping like 16 different people and take the average of all of them, or pinging if it's this type of file, then ask these people. If it's this type of file, ask these people, et cetera, et cetera. Now, and then this has a feedback mechanism. Imagine it could have a feedback mechanism. If, for instance, I get the thing and it goes to corporation stuff, which, by the way, could ignore everybody else. Perhaps it pings Symantec for 99% of the programs, but this one program that, let's say, is usually good, but within this corporation is a bad idea, so it says, okay, for us personally, we're saying this is bad. And then it'll ping back to me and says, no, you cannot. I keep saying ping. Now, they're probably not using ping in the exact sense of some manner of message, whatever. It would send it back to me and says, no, you can't run this program, or we recommend you don't run it. For instance, if, I don't know, I've got the old version of a program, right? Now, that's not necessarily a virus, but say, my organization wants us to use the new version. So it's about to install the old version, it goes through, no, wait a minute, we decided, new version is better. For that matter, even if the organization itself does not know there's a new version, it could ping around and say, hey, is there a new version of this thing? Now, we're about to get into something more expansive thing. I've been talking so far about good stuff that's, viruses or not viruses, essentially. Is it whitelist is good and blacklist is bad, and the shadelist is the spectrum between them, essentially. You could rank things on any number of other criteria. You could say, okay, is this program new, for instance? And you have a list, I think this is, the amount of certainty that this is the latest version of this program, or, the old version of the program. And then I could go, ping to the organization, they do the thing, oh, wait a minute, there's a better version out here, okay, we'll mark that on our list now, everyone, okay, use the new version of this program, it's better, or you could, how likely is this program to crash? It's honestly a malware thing, but if it's unstable and it crashes a lot, I think, ding, 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 it goes to this whole system, comes back to me and says, oh, wait, this is a crashy type program, or this isn't, or we recommend this other thing instead. So, this concept actually expands beyond the initial thing of virus versus not virus. But if we constrain ourselves to that for a moment, just to give ourselves something to comprehend, we have anybody being able to basically talk to anyone else. So you can, if set it up on a website, for instance, and you have, okay, you can just ping the URL of that website. I keep saying ping, whatever. You can talk to the URL of that website, and send it, some communique that says, okay, hey, I want to know your shade listing on a thing. Do you do that at this website? They're like, oh yes, we do it at this website. And that website would have its own policies of who to trust and how to generate its own shade list. And then you have your own policies whether or not to trust them in turn, etc., etc. And you're cool. And then you send it the hash, and it's like, okay. And if it happens to know of like several things of the same hash, it'll be like, hey, there are two different, ways. This could be a good program or a bad program. So, run hash type 47, and that'll show us the difference or something like that. Like, oh, okay, cool. And then we'll send it back to you. And then I'll be like, okay, this is a good program, you can run it. Or this is a bad program, you can't run it. Sort of a thing. So you have like, a random URL, any random URL, any random anything. I thought like an email address could have a shade list sort of thing. You'd set, how do you communicate with them? Well, the same way you normally send an email. And there's probably some sort of automatic email to be hidden from the user or something. That'd be interesting. Imagine if like there's a friend of mine, and he knows about this an obscure class of particular programs, experimental type stuff, So it's not available via the regular authorities, But he has a website, and I say, okay, and I have my thing set up. Okay, ask this friend of mine, does he is this a good program? And then he could, for half of the instances, he asks other people. But in those instances where it's a weird experimental thing I'm asking about that only he would know, then I get the information directly from him. And furthermore, those authorities might eventually, find out people are pinging this guy. They're pinging, okay, so we have here, with because on so-and-so's authority, this is probably good, and then people can get it directly from the authorities, and the exchange of information. So interesting. So yeah, if the guy has a website, and I can go in there, okay, is this program as good, is this bad, is this anything? Again, it could technically not necessarily be virus or not virus. It could be any quality at all. If you want to really think, you could even sound like media files. Imagine like, okay, is this funny? Just like, ding! I just ask the internet, is this thing funny? Ding, 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 ding. Talking to whomever I particularly trust to answer this question accurately, and he's talking to particularly whoever he trusts or she trusts or whatever to answer this question accurately. And is this funny? Yeah. I love how concepts like this just expand into all craziness, and it's amazing.